Broadway's Backyard, weekdays 5 to 10.
Tammy Akins is on the phone. She is from Monroeville, and she was banned from her kid's elementary school after confronting her kid's bully. Hi, Tammy. How are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time here this morning. So we want to share your story with our listeners. So can you take us back to last August? You ended up going onto your kid's bus to confront this other kid, I guess it was picking on your child. Lead us up to that. What happened up to that point?
There has been several instances with my 8-year-old son who's now in second grade. Different things that has happened in kindergarten and in first grade, different instances, like I said, but it was the way that first grade ended with bullying situation. I had specifically said at the end of May, I am not, same words I said on the bus, I am not going to do this anymore. I've reached my max. Something needs to change. So I really wasn't prepared for this school year to start off the way that May ended. Because those children in May that were bullying, not just my son, but actually Jeanette Beagles as well, and some other children were still on the bus. I just wasn't prepared. So when my little one started kindergarten, which he didn't want to go anyways, so that was a whole struggle in itself. But on his first day of school, obviously he went, and he came home, which happened to be, kindergarten has a staggered start. So his first day isn't first day for the rest of the school. But his was on a Friday. He came home and he, little by little, proceeded to say things that happened. And I was like, my husband and I were just floored. I'm like, first day of school, you've got to be joking. Mm-hmm. So, but that was the weekend. So obviously there's nobody in school. So that Monday morning, I took my children to school. We walked into the front office. We talked to the principal. I told her exactly what had happened. My children did not know the child's name. Wasn't certain if he was a new student, just wasn't sure. When he's 5, he had no idea. My other son was trying to figure out who the child was, but he just couldn't. So I left it up to the principal. She absolutely assured me that she would get on the bus. She would address the situation. We weren't going to start this year the way that May ended. Same thing I said, and she just validified everything that I had to say. So the whole initial reason why I walked over to the bus driver saw me, you can see through the windshield. So he saw me and I was pointing to him because I wanted to talk to him. So I walked over to the bus. Meanwhile, I had no idea my son was going to be on the ground again. I had no idea that was going to occur. So he was on the ground.
On the ground, you said? Your son was on the ground?
Yes. He was half on the seat, half slunched. And behind the bus driver, mind you. This isn't seats behind. He was literally right behind the bus driver. So that just kind of set me off. Because I'm like, seriously, you see him the way he was. You didn't even stop. You didn't even pull over. You didn't even check on him.
Jeez.
So I stand up and I'm like, can I get on the bus? And he's like, yeah. So I was trying to remain calm. And I think what nobody sees, I was on the bus for almost 2 minutes. And it's not 2 minutes of me addressing that child. That is me having a conversation with the bus driver. So when I actually got on the bus, I was like, hi, this is what's happening with my son. I don't really know what's happening right now, but my son was crying. So I was trying to address the bus driver calmly and try and process everything that was happening, but yet take care of my son. But in the meantime, all the kids were in my face telling me what had happened and what child it was. And I was like, well, I don't know who that is. Do you actually know a name? Do you know, give me more information? I just was not processing everything that was happening. So then the bus driver says, it's that little boy that's jumping over the seat. Now, the media does not show that part. He actually identifies the child.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is when in the meantime, I'm talking to him, and all the boys and girls are screaming at me, telling me what's happening. I get my little one up, Carson, and he just looks at me, and it's not so much the pushing and just being rough and not nice. It's the words. Words hurt, and I don't think people understand that. To a 5-year-old, that is detrimental. And he looked at me, and he was like, Mommy, do you really think I'm ugly? And I was like, honey, you are not ugly. You are not ugly. So this little boy was mean and just kept saying mean things. But the biggest thing was that he told my son that he was ugly and that everything about him was ugly and his backpack was ugly. And, pushing you can get over. It's words you can't.
Yeah.
And that's why I addressed him, because I'm not going to have my 5-year-old start the year the way that May ended. That was not my initial highlight of my day. It wasn't on my to-do list to get on the bus. It's not exactly how my day planned out, but it absolutely ended that way. And after that situation, that little boy has gotten in trouble before, not because of that. He never got addressed for my situation, for my sons. They actually didn't even call me in until they called me November 30th to come in December 1st, so we could actually officially find out who the bully was. So it was never even, they didn't care. They did not care. That's the problem. They don't care. They
think for schools, it seems like it would be hard for them to jump in and do something if it's just words. And I know I agree with you. Words hurt more than physical
It's
contact.
bullying. It's all bullying.
But if there was actually some physical contact on the bus and this child was touching your kid, I can't understand why the bus driver wouldn't have pulled over and said something or done something. Because you can see that. Words, that's all, he said, she said. But if there's actual physical contact, why the hell didn't the school do something?
They don't. This has been ongoing. This is exactly I said on the bus. It's ongoing. And I specifically said, I'm not doing it this year. Those were my words. But needless to say, this has actually been the worst year. The worst year, because that isn't the first bullying incident to happen. That was the one that sent me over my edge that I couldn't handle it anymore. But my second grader, you don't even know what he's been through this year. And he had a horrible kindergarten and a horrible first grade. But this year it's been horrible. And these kids don't get addressed. And you do the proper channels. You go to the principal. You talk to the guidance counselor. You go to the superintendent. You try to do the right channels. And at some point, they're failing your children.
So you need to jump in. You need to step in. I totally get it.
I have to.
Yep.
Somebody has to advocate. And that's, and if they're not going to do it, and I said it at the school board meeting, if you're not going to do it, you failed my children, I'm going to advocate for them every single time. They are going to know that I have their back because you failed them. I'm not going to fail my children.
And Tammy, you walked onto the bus in August. We are almost into May. The school year is almost over. So what has happened? What has been done? Has anything been done?
No, they are more preoccupied with me. So when I got on the bus, obviously I dressed the child. I just wanted him to leave my son alone.
You didn't touch the kid or anything. You lectured him, right?
No.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the stairwell. I never got off the stairwell. And that was the biggest thing. For the longest time, I wasn't permitted to show or be seen the video. And that was why I had to go get an attorney, because I wanted a copy of the video. And because the bus driver never got in trouble. He didn't get in trouble. And neither did the child. I did. So, and then my kids did. Ultimately, they paid the price.
Oh, my gosh. Tammy, this is so frustrating.
It's just frustrating when I still see the bus driver drive buses and for elementary school kids, and I can't stomach the fact that he did not pull over and check on my son, and yet he is able to just go about his day, and I'm unable to go about my day. But for what had happened, that mom, so the child I addressed never said anything. His parents have no idea. I never met his parents. Trust me, I pushed to, talk to him. He owed my son an apology, and it just never got addressed. It's just always thrown away. So, but that mom is the one who messaged me that night. So hours, 3.5 hours later. And she's like, oh, because she has twin boys. She's like, oh, they told me you got on the bus. You were yelling at another child. And I was like, well, I got on the bus and had nothing to do with your kids. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know. I just want to make sure that they're able to play together. It had nothing to do with them. And I'm like, I just said that to her. She's just not my cup of tea. So I was just trying to be civil, but kind of not,
Right.
Being honest. I just didn't want to ruin my business. So then she messaged me and she was like, well, you scared John and Jacob. And I'm like, they're the ones who were telling me where the child was. How did I'm like, if you like at the time I couldn't see the video because Mr. Short wouldn't allow me.
Right.
But when you see it, you see all these blotches. All those children are around me. Otherwise, you would see me clear as day. You can't. I'm like sort of blocked out as well because they're all in my face. So,
but so now you're banned.
I'm banned from. It started out that Jeanette had pressed Mr. Short to have the police come to my house. It took the police to come 3 weeks. So in the process of that, I was in contact with the principal as well as Patricia Crump at Human Resources because I was scared. I'm like, I really don't want to be arrested. I didn't know what was happening, but I'm like, I haven't been in trouble with the police in my life, so shouldn't they be here a lot sooner than 3 weeks?
And what's interesting to me, and I didn't know this until this story came out, is that it's illegal for somebody to actually get onto a school bus unless you're a school employee. But like, even if your child is on there, isn't that nuts?
It's crazy.
Your kid's on there, but you're not allowed to go on there. That's illegal. What?
It is. Well, at the time, I didn't even know that it was illegal, but they were supposed to have signs posted, and they do not have posted on that bus. And I've taken so many video and pictures to prove that it's not posted on that bus.
Well, and the bus drivers,
their big thing.
And you asked, and the bus driver said, "Yeah, come on, that's fine."
So the bus driver probably didn't even know it was illegal.
Right.
No, I know. And but the thing too, do you know it also is illegal for that bus driver to not stand up and tell that unauthorized person to get off the bus. If you don't get off the bus, then you're going to possibly get a misdemeanor and charges filed. Mm-hmm. He failed his job.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But so now you're still banned from all the school activities for your kid's class, or how does it?
I was initially banned from. So when the police came out, he was like, "I don't even want to be here." He's like, I don't. He's like, I'm tired of them pressuring me. I'm just coming to let them know that I came and nothing's going to happen to you. He's like, I saw the tape, and what I saw was you parent another child. You did not get near this child. You did not use obscenities. You were fine. You parented another child. There was no charges. There's no misdemeanor. He's like, I know who you are. You're a good person, so I'm not even going to do this with you. So after that, he had called Mr. Short, and he agreed. The superintendent said, okay, all charges will be dropped. She's free to go. No big worry. So then after that, I get an email from Ms. Hoffner, the principal, and Patricia Crump saying, I am free to go into the school. We're going to act like nothing happened. It's a learning lesson for everybody involved. I was like, well, really for me, nobody else.
Right.
But so then for 6 weeks, I was permitted in the school. And then right before my kindergartner's Halloween party, Patricia Crump called me and said, oh, we have a position at Moss because, I sub. She's like, we have a position at Moss Side Middle School. We thought you'd be interested in. It's permanent. We want you to come up here and talk about that position and also to officially close out the whole bus incident. And I was like, I thought it already was. And she's like, well, I don't know. Mr. Short just wants to talk to you. So I thought it was kind of strange, but at the same time, I don't know. I've never been in this situation. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to administration, and he was his normal, nice in the beginning, and then out for the jugular at the end. He was making small talk, and then all of a sudden he's like, Mrs. Akins, I know you're going to be upset with me, but I just want to let you know we're revoking you again. And I thought I was on the show Punk'd. I'm like, are you serious? Like, is this... I felt so blindsided. I had no idea what was happening. And I was like, how are you revoking me? Like, I'm just so confused. I'm like, so there's not a job at Moss Side? And they're like, oh, no, we lied to get you up here. And I'm like, so now you're like a predator? Like, you're a predator. And they did. They admitted that they lied. So they lied. They just wanted to get face-to-face contact with me to tell me that I was now revoked again after it was closed for 6 weeks. That actually hurt me more and hurt my 5-year-old again, more than actually in the beginning of the year, because not only did he already get consequences, but it's continuous. It's continuous. They take it away. They can bring it back. They take it away. It's it's a sick game. It really is. It's a pawn. They're pawning my kid. So, and then at the time, my husband was out of the country. So I was dealing with all of this on my own. And then I had to explain to my 5-year-old, now mommy's not home with mom again. So I don't know what to tell you. I was just mortified. I really was mortified. I didn't know what to tell him. I actually went back up to administration. I begged Mr. Short, literally sobbed and begged. And I'm not too proud to say this. I mean, I had snot running down my face, begging him to let me go and be in kindergarten. And please go with me and see that, like, nobody's afraid of me. I don't even know I just felt like I didn't even know what was happening now. Mm-hmm. And he just sat there and said, no, I'm not going to. he just didn't care. So he did. So I was banned again from University Park, and then he did say that I could go watch the Halloween parade at the park or the parking lot, but I just couldn't intervene and go inside the class. And then I was in charge of craft, and he was like, "But I'll take your craft." And I said, "No." I said, "When I get this taken care of, I'm going to do the craft with the class. Go get your own craft. I'm not having you take my craft and represent that you're doing something for them because you just screwed all those kids." As it stands right now, well, actually, how it stood on Friday is different how it stands now. So, because they just keep coming after me, I'm just like this little human target. So where it stood was I was banned for kindergarten for 2 months after that, and then I was re-permitted back in December 1st, the same day that they wanted to find out who this child was, for the bus incident. So I was reinstated as homeroom mom December 1st for only kindergarten. So I'm still banned from second grade. Just all the consequences are just excessive, and there's so many discrepancies that I don't even know where to begin with it. And I think that's why I had reached my max when I don't know if you saw the school board meeting.
I did. I watched that on YouTube. Yeah. Yep.
We both did. Yep.
Okay. So it took me that long to speak. They refused to allow me to address the school board. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's against my rights as a Monroeville resident.
Well, they said that they said there's pending litigation, so they can't really talk to you. I guess that's what they said in the video, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's just for video, because before that even happened, they would not talk to me.
Okay. But so is there any part of you that just wants to
go get time?
Is there any part of you that just wants to sort of put this behind you and just move forward and just forget about it, or not? And I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm saying you sound exhausted.
I am. I'm emotionally exhausted. But the whole point of this was, well, it's really sad, but the only reason why I got an attorney is because I just wanted to go on my son's field trip.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the whole entire year. I just wanted to go on his field trip, and they just wouldn't allow me. And I think that's sad. But the only thing that was good out of that, I had to spend $2,500 to be able to address the school board, which is ridiculous. But my attorney was like, he is just so unreasonable, and to her, it is a ego trip. It's not about what is right or wrong. It never has been right or wrong. It's just a straight up ego trip. And she's like, you have every right to go. You cannot attend like the field trip per se with that group of people, but you can absolutely go take your son out of school. I did take my little one out of school that day, and we absolutely went. It's a public setting. It's a public place. We enjoyed our day. When I saw my 8-year-old, I certainly did high-five him. I gave him a hug, and they knew that. And my attorney was like, you cannot get in trouble for that because it's a public place. They can't do anything to you. So that's a higher up for me to say, you know what, I'm still going to fight you because this is about my kids. It's about my kids. That the school district has failed them every step of the way. And as exhausted as I am, because I am, I want my kids to know that I've done everything in my power to do this. I've done everything in my power. That, you know what, you want me to take my accountability and responsibility? Well, they need to, too.
Yep.
They need to know, why did Tammy Akins get on the bus? There's a reason why. And why didn't the bus driver say, Tammy Akins, get off of the bus? Because he didn't do it either.
Well, Tammy, you know how to get in touch with us. If there's anything you need along the way here as you continue to fight back, let us know. If you need a platform, we're here for you. Whatever we can do, just, stay in touch and let us know. And, as a parent of 2 young boys, I can't imagine my kids being pushed around and being spoken to the way that these kids were talking to your kids, and the school doing nothing. I would jump in there too. I would do the same thing. I would step in. I would do the same thing. So let us know if you need anything, okay? If we can do anything else to support you.
I appreciate you saying that. And, yeah, if you can help me in any way, because I really don't know what else to do. I've done everything I tried to do, and it's for the simplest of things. I just wanted to go on a field trip.
That's it.
The simplest of things that a mom wanted to do.
Well, Tammy, good luck. And like I said, let us know if you need anything, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy.
Broadway's Backyard. Mornings on Y108. Have an Amazon Echo? Ask Alexa to play Y108 on TuneIn.
Y108 from TuneIn.